There has been major hype for The Odyssey since it first sold out IMAX screenings a year ago. Yet recently, people began hating certain aspects of it before its release. Is that hate well deserved, or did Christopher Nolan just prove everyone wrong? Let's talk about it. The Odyssey is Christopher Nolan's 13th film, and let me begin with saying this. This theatrical release has felt like a live event. It was hype when it was first announced back in 2024, but the hype felt more real when the IMAX tickets went on sale a year ago, on July 17th, 2025, and tickets sold out within minutes. To some, this means nothing, but to those that pay close attention to the movie industry, knew that this was no laughing matter. Everyone seemed to be on the same boat, with joy and excitement. I thought we were still in the same boat, especially when I realized that the tickets around me on the opening weekend were all sold out for days. It wasn't until recent that I began realizing that there's hate for The Odyssey. Everyone has a right to believe in what they want to, but it amazes me how people can hate on a project or on a movie before they even see it themselves before the actual release date. It's only fair to give the film a chance before landing on one side of the coin. In fact, to me it's funny how one huge deal was how people were assuming that Elliot Page was going to be playing Achilles, but he did not. He played a different character that was actually essential to the story. Another aspect that caused all this friction prior to its release was the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Holland of Troy. There is no blatant reason behind this other than her skin color. To top it all off, they did not have much screen time. Look, I know we get deeply attached to material that we knew as a kid, or get deeply attached to material that we know we're growing older, but we just need to accept the fact that Christopher Nolan is a master at his work. Over the years, he has become not just a great filmmaker, but he has also become a brand. We see Christopher Nolan attached to a project and we know it's going to be good quality. And I truly hope that lasts forever with him, even until it's 90. Let me know in the comments below if you know that reference. Back to The Odyssey. If only those hating on the movie will actually wait to see it in theater, they will realize that all their initial negative thoughts and negative energy was practically for nothing. With that being said, and after seeing the movie in theater, I can honestly say that those haters have no idea what they're even talking about, because this movie is truly one of a kind experience in theater. From the set pieces, to the amazing acting, to all the practical effects, and to the scale of care Nolan poured into this movie. You can sense how this was a dream project for him, and he honestly laid everything on the table for us. In this take by Nolan, traumatized by the Trojan War, Odysseus spends a decade fighting mythical monsters and mind-bending horrors across treacherous seas to reclaim his home, while his family fights to save his kingdom from hostile suitors. Let me immediately say this. The acting in The Odyssey is simply top-notch. I don't know about you, but whenever I see Tom Holland, I only see him as Peter Parker, because any other role of his, I don't really believe them. But here, he actually outgrew his Spider-Man cocoon. He plays Telemachus, Odysseus and Penelope's son. I enjoy his determination to help his family by trying to find his dad. Of course, Anne Hathaway was great in her role too, the wife of Odysseus. But personally, the characters I liked the most were Zendaya's character, John Leguizamo as Eumaeus, and Matt Damon as Odysseus. Zendaya's and Matt Damon's story in the movie really helps you understand the inner turmoil in Odysseus. Their story and their scenes make much more sense by the end once their connection is fully explained. And let me tell you, that scene alone is worth watching this movie in theater. But man, John Leguizamo's as Eumaeus was just amazing to see. When you think of John, you think of funny roles or maybe not too many serious takes. But here, I believe this is his best work yet. He really lived and breathed his role. Then Odysseus, I actually really like what Nolan did with his character. Guilt can kill you, and his inner turmoil was actually a great touch because it adds layers to Nolan's take of The Odyssey. I have not even brought up the hell of a performance by the one and only Batman. Robert Pattinson is Antinous, and props to him because he has gone a long way since Twilight. And to be honest, this is the closest we will see Robert play Batman up until Batman 2 is released because, damn, the movie's taking way too long to be filmed and to be released. But here, Antinous is a sleek individual that would do anything to claim the throne. Again, Nolan is just adding layers to this all, and it was all wonderfully connected. The characters here were not one-dimensional at all. They all serve a clear purpose. Talking about purpose, usually when a movie does some flashback scenes, the current timeline actually rather stalls, but not here. You actually enjoy all the flashback scenes. Nolan's form of storytelling here with the plot had a well-established connecting dots. The reveal in the end actually hit. You know what else hit you deep in this movie? A dog. Hell, this movie had a stronger plot point with the dog than Supergirl ever did, and in Supergirl, that's the main plot point that begins her adventure, which is mind-boggling to me. The Odyssey could have easily have been 2 films, but Christopher Nolan worked his magic and compiled everything into a 3-hour-long movie. You get lost in the cinematography, in all the practical effects, in the journey, and in the spectacle right in front of you. This is one of the most beautiful looking films I've seen in recent years. It was all filmed on location versus movie sets. This helps the movie feel huge in scale. I was enjoying everything so much that I didn't feel any of the wrong time. Honestly, I did not want this one to end. Talking about practical effects, there were some scenes that any true horror fan will fall in love with, from mystical creatures to a witch. I wish I can say what those scenes are, but no spoilers here, so I would just say this. That scene resembles a London or a werewolf from London in America, or what's it called? An American Werewolf in London. This film has something for all movie fans, and mainly for those that love the theater experience. You have amazing camera work, beautiful set pieces, amazing action, top-notch acting, some horror aspects, mystical creatures, and above it all, the Odyssey does in fact overcome all the negativity, which is great because the Odyssey deals with redemption because you are ashamed of what you did, that you rather forget about it and run away, but after realizing the truth, you actually try to do something about it. This wasn't just a movie, this wasn't just an event, this was a church-like experience and theater. So in conclusion, no hate will overshadow the Odyssey, mainly because it's just that good. All the imagery, all the scenery, the story, the emotion, and the journey, it all felt like a poem come to life onto the silver screen. You can clearly tell the filmmaker loves what he does. You can tell that he poured his heart out into this project. From the casting, the score, the practical effects, to using only IMAX cameras to film, to the long runtime and not losing himself in it all. Yeah, this is a must for all movie fans. So, this all leads me to my rating for this film. And for this one, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is definitely the best cinematic experience in theater. I highly recommend buying it in 4K or in VOD for your digital collection. Well, thank you for your time today, my cinematic family, and for sticking until the end of the video. If you are a true cinephile, please hit the subscribe button. By the way guys, if you like this review, you would definitely love checking out my review for Obsession. That is another major highlight of 2026 that makes you feel uncomfortable and eerie in the best way possible. But yet you want more. Definitely check it out. I am Chuy, and this is Chuy Cinematic Talk. Take care and I'll see you next time.